that booty bounce on the dance floor.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. So we've just got back from a 1-week cruise on the MSC Euribia going around Northern Europe, which we've got the vlog series coming out very soon. But as it's all fresh in our minds, we thought we would do a comparison vlog today, just talking about our experience of MSC and also Royal Caribbean, because we did the Anthem of the Seas back in September. So we're going to go through a few key things, say which was better, which was worse, and overall if there was a particular cruise we preferred.
Yeah, and just so for the vlog info for everybody, and I'll just concur with Charlie, welcome back to the channel. So we've done 7 vlogs, obviously for 7 days. Each vlog's about minimum roughly half an hour long. But today's Saturday and we got back yesterday afternoon and I'm just a bit too tired to put a vlog out for tomorrow. So what we'll do, this vlog's going to go live tomorrow because it's just a bit easier to edit and to control. But then for the next 7 weeks, every Friday, you'll have a new MSC Euribia to watch. And I hope everybody likes it. I hope everyone enjoys it. Also, just let everyone know, we've got a Facebook page called Alfie and Charlie's Travel Addiction. If you'd like to join that page, because we're getting lots of requests to our individual pages, which is cool. But it's also, we do have a travel page, but I'm just not very good at doing the graphics for it on the vlogs. I just don't know how to do it. I don't know how to get the Facebook icon. So if anyone knows, tell me. Please help me. And as Charlie said, this is like a comparison, whilst it's still fresh in our mind, of MSC and the MSC Euribia and the Anthem of the Seas on the Royal Caribbean. So we've done 3 cruises. We've done the Anthem of the Seas during COVID and last year, which the vlog series is on the internet already. It's on YouTube. We've had about 15,000 views on that. So we really appreciate everybody who's watched it, commented and liked it. So you can go back and watch that. And this is our 3rd cruise. We don't have another cruise planned just yet, but I wouldn't be so actually we've just watched the video on the MSC Virtuosa, and we've decided against that now, just because it's the exact same shit apart from the steak restaurant and the French restaurant. They're the only 2 differences, so we're not going to bother now. Anyway, that's that. So I hope you enjoy this vlog tomorrow night. Give it a like, send us a comment, and obviously subscribe. It really helps us and the channel. So Charlie, Royal Caribbean, Anthem of the Seas, MSC Euribia, Embarkation. How was it?
I think for both of them it was really straightforward, because what you do is on your app you have to do like an online check-in for both of them. The only thing that I thought didn't work so well was on the MSC one. You have to take a selfie of yourself and then you have to also scan your passport, and we were getting to that point and it just was not scanning our passports. We weren't the only people that had this issue. There were people on the forums on Facebook saying they were having issues. My parents also had issues.
We were stood there with the laptop like this, weren't we?
Yeah.
About 50 times.
Eventually, after a lot of times, it worked on us, but my parents never got it to work for them, and they had to phone up MSC and give them the passport details over the phone and then have their photos taken when they arrived.
So what are we saying, Charlie? Are we saying Royal Caribbean was better or MSC?
Royal Caribbean for me.
There's a Royal Caribbean. So that's, actually, let's do a little tally, shall we?
Okay.
So we do, this is RC, so it's 1-0 at the moment.
Do you have anything to add to that?
We live in Swindon, and Southampton's about an hour and 20 minutes away. I kid you not. Our friend drove us to the port. We were on board that ship for 20 to 11.
Yeah.
Within 7 minutes of being inside that terminal, I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it's very quick to just get
And this
through.
is why I love cruising as opposed now to going to the airport. It's just seamless. It's just wonderful. So yeah, but I would say on the whole, Royal Caribbean was slightly better just because of the app, I think. But we'll come to the app, I guess. But there's not much disparity in either, I don't think. So don't be alarmed about that. Okay. So what was your first thoughts, Charlie, when we boarded the ship?
I think So for the Euribia, I was like, wow, I was blown away. I was like, wow. It's got this amazing LED screen the length of the promenade. And if you've been to Vegas, it's very similar to what you get down Fremont Street. There's always a different graphic going on.
Yeah.
There's sea life, like there's a massive whale that goes over your head. There's other times where there's like different weather. There's like nighttime with stars, all sorts. So I thought, yeah, probably that one would be my favourite. But then the style of the Royal Caribbean, I said, is probably more of a fun vibe.
Yeah.
So it's more like, I don't know, like colourful and like just more lively. But the MSC Euribia, I think, is very stylish and modern.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it walking on
Yeah.
and seeing that LED or 4K screen, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I just thought it was next level. And on a whole, because on the Anthem you have 2 decks and they're separated by obviously a floor. Whereas on the Euribia you've got 3 decks and it's wider, and you can see up and you can see down. I think the promenade is 100% better. I loved it, and my first impression when I walked on was, this is better.
Yeah.
But I still love the Anthem. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We had 2 great cruises on that.
Yeah.
But I would say
Design-wise.
our first impressions, I think the Euribia won it for me.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
So what about the room? So basically, with regards to the room, so have you seen our previous Anthem vlog series? We had a balcony, and during 2021, I think our previous cruise, we had a balcony also. So this time, because it was a Northern European cruise, we went to Hamburg, Belgium, Bruges, Zeebrugge in Belgium, Rotterdam in the Netherlands, and Le Havre in France. And because it was the first week of March, we set sail on the 8th of March. We just didn't think it was going to, we didn't think we would need it because it's going to be cold. It was cold, but the weather was actually decent. It didn't rain all week on us when we were out and about. So that's the reason why we chose the internal room. And it was £150 cheaper for both of us as opposed to do the balcony. Me personally, I would have done a room without a window. Initially, Charlie wanted a window, so that's what we went for. To be fair, I didn't love the room. I found it quite small, and the window did nothing for me at all. It didn't allow much light in. But as the week went on, I started to like the room a bit more and more. To be fair, but for me personally, with a balcony, you get the rooms longer, and that's what I'd enjoy a lot more. If I'm doing a summer cruise, 100% I'm having a balcony. What about you, Charles?
Yeah, the same. Price was a factor, so we wanted to like save a little bit of money and have like a cheaper room. Having a window, I was pleased with. I was refusing to have a full-on internal room because
do it. I tried.
I'm worried I'm going to get cabin fever, so to speak.
To be fair, I did a little bit.
Yeah, and it was nice to be able to just open the curtains and have natural light coming in. And also when you're at the port, first thing in the morning, you can look out and see wherever you are, the new place. We did have an obstructed view. You could just see the lifeboats, but you could still see out and see the ports, so it wasn't a biggie. But yeah, the size of the room was smaller. But otherwise, like the bathroom's pretty much the same. And also, I think the room service, like the person who comes around and cleans the room, the housekeeping for both Royal Caribbean and MSC were both very good. We got a morning cleaning and then an evening one, turn down service.
To be fair,
and they both of them, like MSC and Royal Caribbean, the person who's your cabin attendant, I think it's probably what they're called, they get to know your habits, so they don't ever disturb you when you're in the room. And also with both of them, like on the MSC, you could press a button, it will say do not disturb, and it puts a little red light on your door. But on Royal Caribbean, you get a magnetic thing that you just stick on the door.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So I think for this one, I'd say they're equal, just because one's a balcony and one isn't. I do obviously prefer balcony. But obviously for the warmer months.
Okay, so there's one more. I agree. I think so. And something we learned before we did the cruise, and we have to thank Nikki and Claire Firmage first of all. They did the vlog during COVID, and that's what encouraged us to do a cruise because our wedding got cancelled. We had nothing else to do. So big shout out to those guys. And there's someone else who we really enjoyed, and she's disappeared. So I'd love to know what's happened to her. Solo cruiser.
Yeah.
And she was great fun.
Yeah.
But she taught us that when you board the ship, you don't have to do this. I just think it's a nice thing to do. We always take our housekeeper a bag of sweets or some chocolate. It's like a £5, you know. But I think they appreciate that, and we leave a little tip at the end. But I thought it was fantastic, to be fair. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And I think the room service menu was better on the Euribia than the Royal Caribbean.
Okay.
Not that we did it, but I did look at the menu. So I'll tell you something, whilst we're talking about that, we might as well just talk about the apps. I know we've talked about it a little bit. Which one did you prefer?
For the embarkation,
yeah.
I preferred the app for.
But whilst we were on board though, what did you prefer?
But while we're on board, I think the MSC one, because you could keep track of your spending, because what it does is it's cashless, it totals up everything you're spending.
Yeah.
So you know what, if you paid for an extra dining package experience or a day trip, it just gets added onto your bill. So it's good for tracking that, and also the daily shows as well, so you can see what the activities are, what time shows are on. I found that better. The messaging I thought worked quite well on both of them, so there wasn't much difference.
Our father-in-law couldn't get on with it though, could he?
No.
But that was no one else's fault apart from his.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think I preferred the Royal Caribbean, so I just liked it. It was a bit smoother, I thought. It was less messy.
Oh yeah, because with the MSC one, you had to keep connecting to their Wi-Fi, and it kept kicking you off after 10 minutes. You have to keep going back in and logging in again.
And a lot of their restaurants as well and places, there weren't physical menus.
You have to scan a QR code.
You could get a physical menu, but they had very limited amount around the ship. And me personally, I hate QR codes. I want a menu. If I'm going to a nice restaurant, give me a menu. So that's even there, Charles.
Yeah.
So that's 3 each at the moment, folks. 3 each. I think we should talk about the buffet now. What was your so the Royal Caribbean and the Euribia? So the Anthem and the Euribia, the design and the layout are very different, alright? So on the Royal Caribbean, you've got cubes, like food stations. There's probably about 8 or 9 of them. Then you have like down the galleyway, I guess you'd call it. So obviously you just walk down and choose some food.
Yeah.
Now on the MSC, you walk in and you've got the burger and chip station in front of you, and you go left or you go right, and it just goes all the way down the bottom of the ship, doesn't it? Either side, and the width of the gangway, it's not narrow, but when you've got 6,000 people on board, everyone's trying to get their munch on. So that was the issue for me. But out of the two, for design wise and actually enjoying the experience, first of all, Charlie, what do you prefer?
I think the layout for the Royal Caribbean Anthem of Seas was better, because it had different food stations and they're spread out. So you go to one, then you move over to the next one. I thought when it was peak time, it was almost like carnage on the MSC. There's just people everywhere. Nobody had any manners. They're banging into you. Yeah. Somebody almost walked into me. I had a plate of food, and then he was like, "Whoa, sorry," and I was just like, "Okay, at least somebody's."
Is it a Frenchman? That's what it sounded like. Oh, mon chéri.
And also, with the labelling of the food as well on the MSC, I didn't think that was very good either. It was a bit clearer on the Anthem to see allergy information.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
Food-wise, I think the quality was equally as good. There's always something to eat.
There's one caveat that I'd say to that. On the Royal Caribbean, the bread section's fantastic. But I know you're gluten-free, so it doesn't really, it's not really something Charlie can eat a great deal of, because gluten-free bread is just always separate. But for bread on the MSC, naff, it's crap. I didn't like it at all. And in the main dining room every night, it was just boring. It's the same bread every night, really boring. But yeah, I agree. I think the food, same quality. I liked it.
Yeah.
So, is it a draw, Charles? Is it a draw?
Food-wise, yes.
Yeah, I think so. Food-wise, yes.
But design.
Okay, so it's not then, is it?
Royal Caribbean.
Royal Caribbean. So they win that one. I agree.
Yeah, there's a better flow of people. It was very congested on MSC.
Yeah, don't listen to me. Charlie's right on that one. So, as we're talking about the buffets there, let's talk about the MDR. And for anybody who doesn't know what MDR stands for, it's main dining room. We didn't know that either until our first cruise. Everyone kept on saying, I'm off to the MDR tonight. I thought they were talking about a drug. So on the Euribia, just gone, there were Aurora and Aurora Borealis and the Colorado. Is it Colorado?
Colorado River.
River. That's where we were. So we were there every night. We ate in there 5 nights out of 7. And on the Anthem of the Seas, we basically ate in all of them. Silk. American Icon, and you can move around a bit more. To be fair, but So with regards to which restaurants serve the best food, Charlie, what do you think?
I'd have to go for Royal Caribbean because I think the menu is a bit more Americanized. So on the MSC Euribia, there was a lot of like, I guess European food you could call it. A lot of like seafood and stuff, which I'm not really a fishy
Yeah, it's very
person.
seafood heavy, isn't it?
And I thought there was more choice for me being gluten-free on Royal Caribbean than the MSC Euribia, because although there was a gluten-free menu, it was quite hard to find something I actually liked on there. And also for like dessert, I had a choice of like either a cheese board or a fruit plate.
It was a fruit plate every night.
So that was a bit boring. So for me, the food's definitely better on Royal Caribbean. Also, with the Royal Caribbean, you'd have like the head person, the maitre d' would come over to me and he would go through the menu with me, and then he would also, at the end of the meal, show me the menu for the next day so I could pre-order something.
We even remember his name still.
Yeah, I can't remember now, I'm put on the spot.
Think McDonald's. Starts with R?
Ronald. Oh yeah,
Ronald, it's Ronald.
Yeah.
Ronald. And what did he say?
He gave me a little card and it said 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
Every time. And he even gave Charlie his personal phone number.
Yeah, if I had any issues, I could call him. So I thought that was better because then I could preview the menu for the next day, pick a meal that I wanted, and they could also adapt it to be gluten-free. But on the MSC, we did have good service. Like the waitress was fantastic.
I think the service was the same inside the restaurant.
And I did get like the maitre d' come and talk to me about the gluten-free menu. But I just preferred Royal Caribbean overall.
Okay, I agree. The service was equal. We had, on this cruise we had, I think like the assistant waiter. It was Camille, I think. So forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong if she watches this. The other lad who was looking after us was Wahoo, and they were great. Again, I'd always encourage everybody, you don't have to, but we did tip at the end of the week, and they put all the tip money we saw in like a big giant tip bucket for everybody. Again, I would agree with Charlie, the service was great. The bread on the Royal Caribbean is just sensational. On the, like, as I've just said a moment ago, it wasn't very good in the main dining room in my opinion. The food quality, on the first night I had some braised beef, and so I can't remember if it's potato or parsnip. It was gorgeous. I'd give it an 8 or 9 out of 10. Yeah. Then the next 3 meals in there were just 4 out of 10. You'll see it on the vlog. And on my last night we ate in there, and I had, what did I have, Charles? It was decent.
You had the lamb curry.
Oh yeah, the lamb curry. And I gave half of it to Charlie. That was really, really nice. But the food quality let us down. Charlie, you had a steak, didn't you, in there?
Oh yeah, I had a steak one night. It was meant to be a sirloin, but it came. It was a really flat piece of meat. It
didn't taste like beef.
Didn't taste really like beef, and it had a really weird sauce with it. And like it was nice enough to eat for dinner, but I wouldn't be recommending it.
No.
And then I was in the lift like another day, and I heard some ladies talking about the steak, and they were saying it was really weird and they didn't like it.
Very
so I was
odd,
like,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Very odd.
I agreed.
I would say the food quality on the Euribia in the MDR, I'd say it's a 5 out of 10 personally for me. Whereas on the Royal Caribbean, I think it was a minimum every night 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
And I agree with Charlie. I prefer the Americanized menu options. It's just more fun. I mean, I don't mind prawns and stuff and a little bit of fish, but every night, even the funny thing is on the Euribia, we had a table of 4 Asian people, and every night they weren't even eating the Asian food, were they? No. so I thought that's normally a sign then if a fish isn't great. But yeah, so I think we've agreed.
Royal Caribbean,
MDR, 100% better.
Yeah.
100% better. I still dream. Oh, yeah, we've got to add on. At this moment in time, then we've got Euribia 3 points and Royal Caribbean 5 points. So I have got some notes. So whilst we're talking about food there, let's talk about the snack options, because you said something to me quite pertinent in the first couple of days, and I never thought about it. So if you want to explain that.
So I noticed if it's like mid-afternoon and you want a snack, there isn't actually anywhere to go other than the buffet. We're on the MSC Euribia, whereas on the Anthem of the Seas, and I believe most Royal Caribbean ships, They have a Sorrento's pizza place, so you just go and get a bit of pizza. And they also had like a little snack bar on there where you could have like sandwiches or cakes and things. But on the Euribia, you had to go to the buffet. And then we were also like, there's nowhere to go for late night snacks, whereas on the Royal Caribbean at 2 a.m, you can go get a pizza from Sorrento's. But then we realised halfway through the cruise that the buffet is actually open till 2 a.m. For late night snacks. But again, you have to go to the buffet every time for
Deck
snacks.
15. It's a bit of a mission. If you want, everything starts on deck 6, but you can go down to deck 5 to the bar and the piano bar. But it's a bit of a mission if everybody on board the ship wants something to eat at 1 o'clock in the morning. But the buffet never closes. It will close for lunch and dinner, but it's always open with just pizza. And talking about pizza, I saw so many vlogs bigging up the Royal Caribbean pizza and Sorrento, so how amazing it was. I thought it was poor, really poor pizza. On the Euribia, it's legit pizza, man. They're making it fresh. They make fresh mozzarella every day, putting fresh basil on. The tomato sauce they're using is beautiful. I would say it's an 8 out of 10 pizza every single time. So, but on a whole, I agree with Charlie. On the Anthem, you've got Cafe 270, Sorrento's. Was that it? Was there somewhere
There was
else?
that snack bar next to it, the sandwiches.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
little
yeah,
cakes.
So that's it. So next to, was it Snackeria? I think it was called. And you can get iced coffees as well. So if you've got the package, like the drinks package, you can get an iced coffee from there as well every morning.
But on Euribia, they did have like a gelato place and waffles. But again, that was an extra charge if you wanted to go there. And they did have a chocolate shop, again, extra charge. So if you just want a snack that's included in your package, you have to go to buffet.
You have to go to a buffet, which is a bit. You don't want to go to a buffet, do you? Like, I'll tell you a lie, actually. If you go to the carousel lounge on the Euribia, they've got some what would you call
little
it?
Mini pots.
Little mini pots of food. It's like little tapas, but it's really small. And again, it was quite fish heavy, wasn't it? I saw lots of fish eggs and things like that. It didn't look appealing. In the Sky Lounge on the Euribia as well, you could get snacks, but it's off the same quality. And I tried 2 or 3 things, and not one thing I enjoyed. But I think on the whole, Royal Caribbean bar the pizza is it's a million times better. And even on the Royal Caribbean, on the swim deck, on the top, you would have. I mean, Johnny Rocket was a paid for restaurant, but it's so cheap. But you could go and get snacks elsewhere, couldn't you? The whole time. In the summertime, there's nowhere for kids to go to get a snack apart from the buffet. But they have to leave their parents, run through, into the market buffet. It's not a great design. It's not a great design. So I think for me, it's Royal Caribbean.
Snacks.
So Royal Caribbean are winning on that one. So I think we talked enough about food, haven't we, really? Is there anything you want to add about the food?
If you want to see pictures of the food, you can go on my Instagram, and it's love food, love drink, with an underscore in between each word. And I'm very foodie. It's a food account, and it's all the pictures of our food from Royal Caribbean, the MSC, Vegas. All our meals are on there as well. So if you're interested in food and drink,
and Charlie's you've got 1,000 followers now, have you? So that's great. So before we move on, I just thought I just wrote it down in case we forget. Something weird did happen to us on the first night. So we were in the main dining room going to the Colorado River, and we were just chatting to the maitre d', and all we heard behind us was Alfie, Charlie, and we turned around and it was like, sorry, it's like Alfie, Charlie, we watch your YouTube channel. So that was like the first time we got recognised, and I'm pretty sure I've got the names right. It's Sandra and Gary, and they're off to Vegas for the 34th time. I think in a few weeks. And we just say, Sandra and Gary, if you're watching this, and they are subscribers, we did try and find you in the casino several times to try and have a drink with you. So don't think we were not doing that.
We would have liked to have met up with you for a drink to talk more, because when we met you, it was a bit fast because we had to go into the restaurant and be seated.
And it was Charlie's parents' first time aboard a cruise ship, and they were a little bit nervous and stuff. So we were trying to help them. But it was so cool, wasn't it? We've been talking about it afterwards. It's just it was really spooky. Someone knowing you don't know them. But I guess that's the wonderful thing about you two. And we did, that was one of the things we said, didn't we? Like on the Royal Caribbean, and obviously me and Charlie and myself, we only speak English, you know, I'm sorry for that. But we didn't really meet many people to have drinks with, did we? Like we met a nice couple called Philip and Anne in the Sky Lounge on the last evening.
From Liverpool.
From Liverpool, but we normally we met a couple in Mexico on our honeymoon 2 years ago, and they come on a cruise with us last year. So we're quite inviting, and we try and be engaged with people.
Friends in Italy.
Yeah, and they come to Vegas with us, Steve and Liz, on our last vlog series. But that's one thing I noticed, because there's so many different languages on board, and people getting on and off at every port. It stops you kind of making friends with people on board the ship with strangers, because everyone's at a different point in their cruise. And I didn't like that really, to be fair. I like to meet more people. So I'd say the Royal Caribbean on a whole, snacks for people are better. So basically I'm saying English people and Americans are my favourite kind of people.
English-speaking people.
English-speaking people, you're my 100% favourite. And I like the Spanish-speaking ones, they're my second favourite. Right, so we've done that. So let's talk about the drinks package, perhaps.
Yeah, well, both of them we paid for, like the ultimate drinks package or deluxe drinks package. I thought they're both really good value for money. For Royal Caribbean, you have to watch the price because it goes up and down, and sometimes they have sales on where they reduce the price. So for the Royal Caribbean Anthem of Seas, we originally purchased it, then the price dropped, so we cancelled it, and then we brought it at the cheaper price.
And I think it was £303. That's the most we've ever paid for Royal Caribbean.
For an all-inclusive drinks package, but for the MSC, it was like a set price, I believe.
It was £250 we paid for it.
So I guess value for money, that's probably better. But anyway, you know, we had the best drinks package. We could have anything we wanted to drink in most places. So I thought that was good. They're very generous with the measures as well.
And if you have the deluxe drinks package on the Euribia, or you get to go in L'Atelier, you'll see it in the vlog. It's where the French restaurant steakhouse is, but there's a bar in it, and but you don't get a lot of families going in there because it's kind of adult only, and you can't just use your soft drinks package in there. You have to have an alcohol drinks package to go in there, so you can pretty much always get a seat, can't you? It's the room I'm talking about where all the people walk past on the digital screen. But you will see that. For me, the drinks package, it was identical. All the drinks are cool. The only thing I'd say about the gins, we like gin.
Good selections of gins.
Maybe the Euribia has got the champagne bar, and my sister has done the ship as well, and she loved it in there. And the selection of champagnes are pretty impressive, included in the drinks package. I think it's even on that one, but I did like Royal Caribbean in the Cafe 270. You could get proper iced coffee, and it's exactly the same as Starbucks, and it was included. But I would say on a whole it's even though we pay a little bit more for Royal Caribbean, that was because it was summertime, so I'd say that's even that one there. So nightlife, so you talk me through that one, Charles.
Yes. So as you may have seen on our other vlogs, we do quite like a drink. We like to party. So I would say for this, the nightlife on the MSC Euribia, if you're a bit of a drinker like we are, I think it's probably better. The bars are open till like 1 or 2 a.m. You've got loads of bars. There's a wine bar, a champagne bar, there's the L'Atelier one, there's the Masters of Seas, which is like an English kind of pub. There's also a karaoke bar, which we ended up in a couple of nights.
We didn't sing, but
we were just like having fun in there.
We were a bit dismissive of it, weren't we?
Yeah,
and
but it was great fun in there.
Yeah, I think it's decent.
There was all sorts going on, so I think nightlife wise that was better. Royal Caribbean, you know, there were places to go. You've got the Schooners bar, but that seemed to get really busy. And other than that, the only other place really is to go is Bolero's.
But the music hall on the Royal Caribbean,
it's the music hall.
The music hall's on 2 floors, and you could probably get a good 1,000 people in there easily. And it's really, really good. But it's just like rock shows. Like we saw the Dukes, didn't we?
They were good,
They were really good.
The house band.
But the pub on the Royal Caribbean, compared to the Masters of the Sea on the Euribia is much better, and it's a lot more comfortable. There's more seats, it's longer, it's wider. So I think they've apparently on the P&O as well. The pubs are massive, but I think on a whole,
I think it was easier on the MSC to do like a bar crawl. You could hop
Yeah.
around from place to place and have a good night out. Whereas with the Anthem of the Seas, you have to get in somewhere and get a seat. So like if you wanted to go to, I can't remember what it's called now, that piano bar.
a Schooners
Bar.
Schooners.
It was quite hard to get a seat if you went quite late on.
Yeah, anytime after 4 o'clock onwards, you would
people
struggle.
just rock up. And also that carousel lounge in the MSC was quite hard to get into. But I didn't really care about that so much because there were so many other bars available and we had some good nights.
Yeah, but I
didn't we?
think the best shows, you know, you got a big band every night with a proper orchestra. On the vlog, and one day they were warming up, and and the guy was singing, just doing rehearsal. So we kind of heard it a little bit, and then we watched. It's called an aperitif with the big band.
Yeah,
and we watched that, but there was no singing. It was just the band performing. So we watched that for half an hour, but. You get families going in that carousel lounge and they kind of take over a little space because there's like obviously maybe 10, 15 people and they all want to be together. So if you don't get in there early enough, you're literally screwed, aren't you?
Yeah.
So like the venues for drinks and stuff, me personally, we'll talk about the theatre shows in a moment, but for drinks, I think it's the Virtuosa all day long. If you want, if you want to do a bar crawl, and just bar hop, not get smashed or anything, but just go along, new venue.
I'd say that's more fun. So I would vote for
so we'll do
the
that.
Euribia. For nights out.
So now we're talking about now. We're out a lot.
Out.
I'm still pink from it. So the theatre shows. So let's talk about the Royal Caribbean first, because so on the Royal Caribbean, there's always a, what do you call it, like a West End show.
Or something.
And they, on the Anthem of the Seas, they have things like Hairspray, Cats, etc. But the ones we saw was We Will Rock You.
Jersey Boys. And Spectres Cabaret.
Oh yeah. We did all of that. Spectres Cabaret. The first time we saw it was amazing.
Yeah.
The second time we saw it on the Anthem, they didn't do the same show and it wasn't as good. But I thought the shows on the Anthem really good. The music hall's fantastic.
Yeah, it's big.
We didn't like We Will Rock You just because. I don't know.
We've seen it before.
Yeah, it's very outdated, the shirt. I love Freddie Mercury, but I'm not a massive Queen fan. But I do like some of the songs. And Jersey Boys were fantastic. We shared a hot tub with them, didn't we? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. So I would say a good 7 out of 10 plus for Royal Caribbean on their shows. And on the bigger ships, you've got the ice rink, you've got the Aqua show, etc. We've never seen them, but I'm really excited to do that next year, hopefully. But let's talk about the Euribia show because I've got an opinion of them.
I thought they were fun, but it's the same entertainment team for every show. So you'll get to recognise it's the same dancers and the same singers. So we saw a rock show, that was really fun. Generation Rock. We saw the circus show, which I enjoyed, but it was a bit cheesy. We saw that Illuminix City.
Well, the Illumin City was on the last night, and by far
really good.
the best show on the ship.
And we saw the Comedian twice. The
Mike
first one was
McLean.
good. Second one not so good. So my overall opinion, although they were like quite fun little shows to watch, and I liked that they were on several times in the evening, I think the quality was better on the Anthem of the Seas and the range of shows because they're different performers for each one. You know, they've got their specialist shows that they do. So Royal Caribbean gets my vote for that one.
Okay, well I'm going to agree with Royal Caribbean overall, but I want to talk about the shows on the Euribia. So they had like 20 dancers, or say 24 dancers and singers. It was very odd to me, the singing. It was, and I'm not being mean because people might think we're not very good at vlogging, which I'm cool with that, man. It's fun for me. It's just a bit of fun for us. But I just thought they had on the circus show, the guy who was the ringmaster clearly could not sing.
Yeah, he had a weak voice.
He was out of tune the whole show. And they compete against each other, all the singers, don't they? Apart from the last night on that Illumin City, and it looks fantastic on the vlog. So when you see it, it's really, really cool. Because I went into that show with a 1 out of 10 expectation, and I left there 8 out of 10.
We thought it was going to be some sort of illusion show, but But it turned out to be, there was singing and dancing, but they had like lights and
On their
special effects
suits.
and all sorts, it was good.
And there's almost a full show in there as well, which I think the atmosphere had. But
Yeah.
on a whole, I would say the dancers I thought were really good. The people doing the acrobats I thought were really good. The singers, it's not my cup of tea. I would give the shows, bar the last night, a 4 out of 10. And the first and the last show, I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
The comedian, nice fella. He was telling jokes I heard 20 years ago down the pub, and I just thought, how can you be getting paid to come on board a cruise ship and you're not writing your own jokes? And he was an illusionist. He did a couple of cool things, didn't he?
It's not meant to be mind reading.
Yeah, mind reader. That's it. Sorry, not illusionist. Some of that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how he did that. He seems like a really decent guy, but yeah, it wasn't fantastic. And there was one family who kind of this was annoying for everybody. So you had one family, and I know it's like a family entertainment sort of thing, but it is advertised as an adult show. And they brought their kids in. One must have been about 4 and one was 8. Nice family and stuff, but I do think the guy who made a comment at the start, so we can't do the adult show then.
Yeah, I think he might have had to tone it down a little
Yeah,
bit.
so that was a bit disappointing. I do think if you've got children, maybe don't take them to an adult only show because it's not fair on everybody else.
Yeah.
But on a whole, we're going for the Royal Caribbean.
The Anthem of the Seas.
Anthem of the Seas. Right, what else we got then? So we've done the nightlife, the pools, solariums.
Yeah, so there was lots of outdoor swimming areas on the Euribia. It was too cold for us to go in. They weren't heated. I think they're like set to like 25 degrees or something, and they're salt water. But there is 2 really nice long outdoor hot tubs which we went in.
Yeah, they curve.
Yeah, they were really nice. So I enjoyed doing those. And then the indoor bit on the Euribia did get quite busy and the hot tubs looked quite rammed. But there was a time when I got in and there was only 2 other people in there. So I got quite lucky with when I went in. Royal Caribbean, I preferred the solarium, they call it.
Yeah, it's
because
fantastic,
the hot tubs
isn't
were
it?
bigger, it was a bit more spread out,
And
there's several pools.
And there's 3
indoors.
tiers of swimming pools
Yeah.
down the middle.
So I think for that, and also there's a drink service while you're sitting on your sun loungers, they're coming around taking your drinks.
Oh, they told us off on the Euribia, didn't
Yeah, we
they?
got told off because we took a can of Coke in to the hot tub.
But there's like a rail, you can put the drinks behind it. So I
Yeah.
found it very odd, you couldn't
So-
take a drink in.
But we'd already finished our drinks anyway when he came round.
It's a bit militant.
So for me, the solarium on the Anthem of the Seas wins this category.
Yeah, I agree. We didn't really go in. We went in the solarium once and I read my book. But it's on 2 tiers, isn't it? It's weird.
It's really
I
crammed.
think.
And also, something that annoyed me was there are these ping
Oh,
pong
God.
tables behind the sun loungers. So if you're like laying there trying to relax, you can just hear ping pong,
Ping, ping, pong, ping, pong.
balls
ping, pong.
flying around. So that was also a bit annoying.
It's like an episode of Little Britain. Ping pong.
So yeah, that's my.
And they had the foosball tables as well.
Yeah,
And like
there's
3
no
of
need for
them.
it.
It's just like it's supposed to be a
It's meant-
relaxing space for people.
Yeah.
Which I think
And I
is very
know that
odd.
in the Royal Caribbean, you've got to be over 16 to go in those hot tubs, but people were taking children in the hot tubs on the Euribia, which is fine, but then there was a lot of like stuff about young children in nappies going in there and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think they need to make it clear what the age category is.
Yeah,
for the Euribia.
I wasn't
Yeah.
clear about it at all. It's okay. I mean, if the kids are allowed in there, I don't
Yeah,
get it.
like,
If
and
you
if-
want to spend time
If
with
they're
your
toilet trained,
family.
that's fine. Yeah. But small children, I don't think.
I think the one thing, like talking about that, I think there was more respect for others on board for Royal Caribbean than there was on the Euribia for other people.
Yeah.
I found a lot of people just walking into people, like it's
Barging,
it's
yeah.
a lot of barging, wasn't there? A lot of unnecessariness. It's just like an observation myself and Charlie had, because maybe we have more time for other people because we're just on our own.
Yeah.
And we just people watch. But on a whole, I think the swimming pools on the Royal Caribbean, and there's more. And like talking about the pools, then we must talk about like
Like splash area.
like kid friendly stuff. Because on the Royal
Yeah.
Caribbean, Anthem of the Sea, you have the wave rider, you had the indoor skydive, the bumper cars.
Yeah.
Oh God, why don't they have the bumper cars in Euribia? That's crazy to me. And you had like the amusement park and the Seaplex, and there was like a hot dog van for the kids to go to all the time.
Oh yeah, the hot dogs were cool. Yeah.
On the Anthem of the Seas. But on the Euribia, all you had was 2 bowling lanes, some really expensive VR games for families to have to pay, and an arcade. And there was a splash park with like a rope climbing thing to go around. But
the splash park did have swimming, like for kids. It had like water slides and stuff.
But you couldn't just let your kids go off and be free, could you? Really, like, you'd have to always be with them, which I thought was. I don't think it's a great design for families. If you've got a young family, like kids, I'd say from ages like 3 to 12, I wouldn't take my kids on a MSC cruise.
Yeah,
I would only do the Royal Caribbean. I think
I did chat to a lady in the hot tub, and she had a 10-year-old, and the 10-year-old was fine. She was in the hot tub as well. And the lady was saying to me she felt like it wasn't a very family-friendly cruise on the Euribia. And funnily enough, later this year, she's going on the Anthem of the Seas for 2 weeks. And I said to her, I think that the Anthem's probably better for children and families. I think there's just a bit more going on there for kids.
No, I completely agree. I literally completely agree. Yeah. And talking about the kids, I think the kids were well behaved on the ship.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
They were really well behaved, weren't they?
Yeah.
Right, so let's.
Royal Caribbean.
100%, Royal Caribbean.
Kids' facilities, would you say?
100%, yeah, 100%. Matt is not winning on that level. For pubs and getting on it, that's going to win. For family-friendly fun and swimming pools, Matt wins.
Yeah.
Right, this is a subject dear to my heart, okay? What do you think I'm going to talk about now?
Casino.
The casino, right? So, some gentleman did a casino walk around on the Euribia before he went. So, I thank you to that person. I'm not sure who he was, but he showed all the machines, and there was Dragon Link machines. Watch our Vegas vlogs from January, and I was winning every day $400 on those Dragon Link machines. I love those machines. They had 6 machines on board for Euribia. I played every single one, minimum of $50 in each. I won bugger all, man. Absolutely nothing. My best bonus, like $40, and I only got 2 features, and that was on the last time I tried. Yeah. And they didn't have any poker tables on the Euribia as well. Lots of table games, and the casino bar was fantastic, and the design of it's fantastic. I think the Euribia, and it looks cool, really super cool. But I couldn't win on it. I just literally, there's nothing I could do to get any money out of those machines. We must have played 12 to 15 different machines. Just nothing, was there? Yeah. So obviously that gets a big thumbs down from me, because I didn't win. Maybe if I won, I'd have a different opinion on it. Yeah. But on the Royal Caribbean, it had a poker, on the Anthem of the Sea, it had a poker table, and it had loads of roulette tables, loads of machines. I actually won $600 on the Royal Caribbean.
And they did like a slot tournament as well.
Oh, the slot tournament,
fun.
yeah.
Everyone's like going
Charlie's slot hand. So casinos, there's not much in it, but the Euribia had my favourite machines. But
I think it had better machines.
Yeah, it did have better machines.
I lost money in both casinos, so to me they're quite equal.
I would say on a whole, and I'm not saying this because I won, I would say the MSC casino is better. But as I'm a poker player, I do probably prefer the Royal Caribbean, but I do think it's better, the Euribia. So I would say Euribia. So at this moment in time, Euribia's got six wins. And what was that? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that 10?
2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So it's 6 versus 10 at the moment.
Have we got anything else on the list?
Well, we're coming up. What's the time? It's 43 minutes now. So I'll give some kudos to the MSC. The lifts are fantastic. You press what floor you want to go on. And you've probably seen this on the vlogs already, on other people's vlogs. But it tells you what zone to go to, like A, B, C, D, E, F. That's really cool. Value, or maybe you should talk value for money. Maybe let's end on that. Value for money, I think.
Okay.
So on the Royal Caribbean, bearing in mind we did it in September, I'm pretty sure with the drinks package we paid £1,300 with a balcony and drinks package. But we did go to better ports, in my opinion. So we went to Bilbao, La Coruña, Le Rochelle and Le Havre again. On the MSC, we pretty much paid about 2,200 with all the specialty dinings, etc. Oh, we'll talk about that in a second, specialty dining, etc. So the price-wise wasn't too bad, but we went to Hamburg, obviously Bruges, Le Havre again, or Le Bourg, as I call it. What's the other place? And Rotterdam. Out of the two cruises, value for money, I think the Royal Caribbean wins hands down. What about you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. They're both brilliant value for money.
Yeah, they're both really nice ships. Both like have good drinks packages and the rooms are nice. But I think just on the whole, I think I preferred
Royal Caribbean. So the Royal Caribbean has won this discussion we're having. But let's go back a second. Let's talk about the specialty dining. So we haven't done that. So on the Royal Caribbean, we've done all the specialty dining. We've done Wonderland, which is like a fusion of food, and you have about 15 courses. We did Chops Grill on the Anthem, and we've done Jamie's Italian. That's Jamie Oliver's Italian. And all three of those experiences were fantastic. I wouldn't do Wonderland again because you've just done it.
It's quite out there.
It's out there. Chops Grill we've done twice. First time was better in my opinion than the second time, but each time the food's pretty decent, right? 8 out of 10 I'll give it.
Yeah.
And I don't really like Jamie Oliver massively or his food, but I'll give him credit. The food on board those cruise ships at his restaurants are next. I don't understand why his restaurants in this country didn't succeed when the food on the ship is so good. So I can't fault any of this specialty dining on the Royal Caribbean. Will you tell everyone about what we did on the Euribia?
Yeah, on the Euribia, we only did 2 specialty dinings. So we did the Hola. Mexican. We did all you can eat for $17.99, which is fantastic value for money.
Amazing.
And you can just order anything you want off the menu. So we had a salad each. We shared the chicken topped nachos. Then we tried all of the different tacos, which was really good. Enchiladas, and we had some desserts as well.
And we had a Tijuana salad as well, which is fantastic.
So I'd recommend for that, if you're doing the all you can eat experience, just order as you go along. Otherwise your table will just get full of food and you won't get to
I would wait 5 minutes, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes.
So try a little thing, then order
between.
something else. Yeah. So that was excellent. The food was delicious.
I'd give that a 10.
Yeah,
that was a 10 for me.
And then the other one, I think it was called Kato
teppanyaki.
Yeah, which is the teppanyaki, and we did the mid-range menu, which I think was...
It's a samurai, was it? It was 39 euros.
39 euros each, but you get like an amazing performance from them. He's like singing, he's chucking these knives around, and he's grilling the food in front of you. And I'm not, like I said earlier, I'm not really a fishy person, so I swapped out, like, there's a big piece of salmon. I swapped that for chicken, so I had chicken teriyaki instead.
But you had some of my salmon though.
Yeah, I tried it. It was all right. But all the food was lovely.
For wine, you have to try the Japanese plum wine. I think it's basically a dessert wine. And if you haven't got the drinks package, it's only 66 euros a glass. We must have done a bottle and a half each on that.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
That was good stuff.
And so I interrupt you before I forget. We had a lovely lady who is solo cruising called Anna from Sao Paulo in Brazil, but she's been living in the Netherlands for the last 20 years. I just want to give a shout out to Anna. It was really fun just chatting for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And we hope you are currently still enjoying your cruise.
Yeah.
But talk about the beef then, Charles.
Yeah, the beef was amazing. And he said, how do you want it? We said rare.
Yeah, always.
And it was just perfect. And yeah, it was just yummy. The egg fried rice was good. All the little tasting bits at the beginning were lovely. So again, I'd say 10 out of 10 for the specialty dining. So I think for both, I think it's a draw for me.
I think it's a draw, yeah.
They're both excellent.
I think, obviously, I know some people go on a cruise and you have a budget and you can't afford to do the additionals. We're not rich, we have a budget. So sometimes we'll think, last minute, let's just do it. And we weren't going to do the Kato, were we?
No.
I think we just got so bored and disappointed with the MDR. And we don't want to go to the buffet for dinner because it's just not a nice experience. Do that every night. But I wasn't let down. I think maybe for me, the 2 meals we had were amazing on board for Euribia. For teppanyaki and the Hola, I'd give a 10 out of 10. So I would say the MSC Euribia was slightly better, but that's because it's probably fresher in my mind
so I'd give
still.
them both a draw.
I'm happy to do a draw. We'll do a draw on that one then. Do a draw, boom, boom, boom. And that's kind of it, isn't it? I mean, like, what's this? This is 50 minutes long now. So this is the first time we've ever done anything like this. And we've not had loads of people ask us questions, but we just thought, whilst it's still in our minds and fresh, and it's nice to put up a vlog for people to see and hear our experiences about the ship. So I hope you've all enjoyed it. don't forget to give us a like and a comment. Please subscribe if you like the channel and if you like what we do. And obviously join the Facebook page, Alfie and Charlie's Travel Addiction on that, and Love Food, Love Drink for Charlie on Instagram. Why don't you tell people, obviously remember the next 7 weeks you're going to get 7 vlogs every Friday night. Why don't you tell people about our next trip, Charlie?
Yeah, so the next trip we've got planned, like as a holiday, is going to be Paphos, Cyprus. And we're staying at the Olympic Lagoon as well. So we got married at the Olympic Lagoon in Ayia Napa. That's when we first started vlogging. We did a few walk around videos. We know a lot of people like to look at these places because they like to look to maybe get married or have a holiday or whatever. So we'll be doing some vlogs while we're there, some more walk around videos, show our experiences there as well. And then we've also got a special night out planned at Resorts World in May. So I think we'll probably do. Yeah,
we have a special. We're doing it with another YouTuber from the Vegas community. Yeah. All I'll say, I won't say who they are. You have to stay tuned. That's why you have to subscribe. But they're really nice people, and you probably might know who it is. I'll give you a little clue. We did something with them in Vegas in January on one of their meetups.
Yeah. So we're very excited to meet up with them again.
That's going to be super cool. So that we'll do a little vlog on that as well. I think we're definitely going to go. Well, we're definitely going to have another holiday later in the year. I can't go to next year to
maybe
that holiday.
September or October.
So Charlie's birthday's in October. I did find a cruise for the MSC Virtuosa, but I've just watched the vlog on it, and there's just no point. It's the ship, as I've said already. It's identical, so I'm not doing that. So we've done obviously 2 different cruise lines. I wouldn't mind doing the P&O, but we've got to decide yet. Maybe we might go to Armelinos. But yeah, we're definitely going to have another something later in the year. So we're away the last week in June, or first week in July, one of the two. Then we'll put those vlogs out, obviously, each week. And we might do some day ones again. We go to London quite a bit, don't we? So if anyone's interested, we'll do something like that. And that is it, really, isn't it? That is it. So thank you for whoever's going to watch the upcoming series. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you for sticking through this video if you've made it to the end as well.
It's been a lot easier than what I thought, actually. She hasn't told me off once. She said, don't speak over me. Have I spoken over her a lot? I don't think I have I?
No, I don't think so.
No. Have you spoken over me a lot?
Maybe once or twice.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, that's all right. Good job, I love you. But I'm not even going to edit this because I can't bear to listen to myself.
Let's just say goodbye now then.
So we'll say goodbye. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
I'm going to press the button, Charlie.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.